My name is Tammy Shia, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator. I've been with Stampin' Up! 12 years, and it seems like it's been maybe 6 months. And I think one of the most exciting things about being a demonstrator is when we get a new catalog, because it's all new stuff to play with. So, all right, well, I'm going to start. We have a brand new hostess code beginning tonight. It's going to run through June 30th, okay? So anyone watching Facebook tonight who would like to order some products in my online store, this is the code and this is the address for shopping. And this code is going to be good, okay, for the rest of the month. Yes, Nancy, you're right. We're going to talk about that card too. All right, so if you are shopping tonight or anytime within the next week and a half or so, when you place a $35 order in my online store, you receive this tutorial bundle. It is 16 different cards. Hello, Pam. It's nice to have you. Hi, Charlene. Good to have you from New Hampshire. So this tutorial, 16 projects, they're all cards, and the best part is it's all new product that's from the annual catalog. And so when you place a $35 order in my store, you will receive this tutorial from me, okay? Now also, while you're in my online store, when you do place the $35 order, you earn a B. And when you have earned 10 Bs, you will receive $35 in free product, okay? And I always send out an email towards the end of the month to remind you, and you can redeem it at that point, okay? And I keep track of it for you, so you won't have to worry about any record keeping, okay? All right. All right, and also, in case you've been thinking about becoming a demonstrator or earning a discount, we have a wonderful demonstrator promotion this month, and I'd love to have you on my team. And to start to become a demonstrator with Stampin' Up!, our starter kit is $99. And you can select $125 in free product of anything you want. And they're going to throw in some business supplies and a paper pumpkin. And on top of that, ladies, this month you can pick any bundle in our annual catalog for free. So if you've been thinking about becoming a demonstrator, either to teach classes or to have classes, in your home or do anything online, or you just want the discount, then contact me and we will talk about it, because I'd love to grow my team with you on it, okay? All right, the next announcement is our next paper pumpkin. And I don't know if you've seen this flyer yet, but the July paper pumpkin is going to include some 3D projects. And it's going to include these little luminaries just in time for the 4th of July and the whole, summer. And you can also, when purchasing the kit, you can actually add on 24 card bases and envelopes, okay? And so you can begin ordering these on July 1 as an add-on. Now, if you're not a 3D person and you just want cards, then you may want to skip the month of July. That's very easy for you to do. You just go into your Paper Pumpkin account and suspend it for 1 month, okay? But you have to do it by July 10th, or you're going to get the kit, okay? And it's my understanding that in order to receive this kit, you've got to get the kit and then add on the cards, okay? You can't just order the cards, all right? I can check on that, but I don't believe you can, okay? but you can add on cards to your kit, which is always fun. All right, so that's all the announcements, and I know some of you probably missed some of that. So if you did, you can go back and watch the replay when I'm done tonight, and then you can check out those announcements, okay? Now we're going to get started with the flowers for every season. And I could probably spend the entire summer on this suite because it's a mega suite, okay? It's got tons of product. It's got 2 stamp sets, paper, ribbon, memory cards, all kinds of good stuff. So we're going to start with the jar of flowers. And this is a Photopolymer Stamp Set. And this is what it looks like when you receive it. All right. Now the reason that you see the outline here and on the flowers is because this is a reversible photopolymer stamp set. And what that means is you can use both sides of the stamp to stamp it. Okay. So you can use this side with the details, or you can use the solid image. Okay. So that's Jar of Flowers, and it has an awesome jar punch that coordinates with it. And so we're going to use that this evening. All right. So let's see what's next. Let's do paper. All right. So the paper, which actually at the very bottom of page 11, you're going to get a really good idea of what this paper looks like, okay? And I'm going to show you some of that now, all right? So I have one question. Let me see. Laura has asked a question. If we order when we use our full B card and spend over 70, are we eligible for the tutorial? Yes, you would be, because you can only redeem 1 B at a time. And Laura, you've already earned this tutorial for the month, and it's in your inbox. And if you can't find it, please let me know, and I can resend, okay? All right, well, let's take a quick peek. I'm going to move the catalog just so we can get a good look at this paper. What's nice about the paper is it comes 6 by 6, so it's very manageable and it's easy to store. And it's actually created for all 4 seasons. So this paper, you'll be able to use the entire year. Now, as you can see, I've already started using some of mine. So let me get out those little pieces and get them put away. This is the opposite side. These colors also coordinate with the end colors. Here are the poinsettias for Christmas time. Here's the back. You get 4 of each sheet. So if you don't see, like this one I only have 3 of, and it's just because I've already cut 1 piece. But it's 4 of each sheet. And then we've got this beautiful misty moonlight pattern. And here's the back, which could be used in the fall and winter. Looks like pine needles. And then we have these beautiful tulips, which would be awesome for spring. And let's see what the back looks like. This is just jade on the back. And then we have this beautiful flower. This reminds me of summer. And this is the back of this one. So again, here's the bumblebee, okay? So we've got our end colors showing up in these papers. All right, isn't that pretty? And here's the next one. I believe you received 48 sheets. If someone wants to check on that for me, you can, but I want to say 48, and they're 6 by 6. Hello, Jean. So good to have you tonight from Florida. Hi, Susan. Good to have you too from Richmond. So here's another one of the papers, and here's the back. If you're just joining us, you do want to chime in and say hello so that you can be in the drawing tonight. I have 3 prizes tonight. Here's the bumblebee. Here are the sunflowers, just like our stamp set. And look at this, how beautiful. And here we are, this is cinnamon cider on this side. And on this side, we've got daisies. And then here is some more sunflower paper. And the back is Misty Moonlight, all right? So that's all our beautiful paper right there. Let's see what's next in this suite. Oh, I want to show you the ribbon. The ribbon coordinates with the paper and the stamp sets and all those goodies. This is a combo pack, okay? These all come together, and it should be 5 yards of each ribbon. And so we've got this beautiful white, which I'm sure that we can dye by sponging it. And then we've got this lovely twine with the moon, with Misty Moonlight interwoven in there. And then look at this Just Jade gingham. Isn't that pretty? So that's our ribbon. And we talked about the jar punch and the jar stamp set. And we even have jar shaker domes. Now these have already become super popular, and we're going to use one next week when we create a jar card. And it looks like you get 10 in the box, okay? So that's that one. And then it just keeps going, doesn't it? All right, I want you to see these awesome envelopes with coordinating card bases. And you're going to notice that you get 2 envelopes in each of the end colors. So Misty Moonlight, Bumblebee, Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade, and Magenta Madness, all right? So that is 10 envelopes there. And these are the coordinating card bases. So on page 10, they are called Flowers for Every, Flowers for Every Season and More cards and envelopes, okay? And so that is $11 for these and the coordinating envelopes, okay? Really, really pretty. And to coordinate with those card bases, we have the Memories and More card pack, okay? I know, I love this paper too. So these are just some of the cards, and they coordinate with the designer paper. They coordinate with both stamp sets. You're going to get the large cards. You're going to get sticker sheets, okay, for embellishing those cards. I really want to do a class on this. And I think this might be a 2x3. This is probably a 3x4 card. And they also coordinate with everything. All right. So just wanted you to be aware of all these good things. And on this page alone, we've got 6 samples. So if you have this suite, you can make all of these things. You would have what you need. Now over here on 13, we're going to get to the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle, all right? And this includes a stamp set and dies. And this is what we're going to be working with tonight. So I kind of saved this one for last. I'm going to move my catalog. This is the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set, okay? And as you can see, these sunflowers and leaves are very detailed, tons of detail, just super beautiful. I'm going to show you what the dies look like. So this large die will cut out this sunflower, okay? It'll cut out the outline. This sunflower die will cut out this piece, all right? And as you can see, you probably cannot tell from this, but these stamped images are at 90% so that they can all fit on the insert, okay? And then this is the intricate part of the sunflower, which we're going to use tonight. We've got leaves and we've got the outline of the leaves, and then we've got some, I'll call it like ornamental type stuff. Hey Nancy, welcome. Good to have you. I know, Joanne, I am really working on those in color paper shares. They are giving me a run for my money. I'm telling you, it's a ton to do. But I'm having fun creating the boxes, so they'll be ready in a week or two. So here are the sunflower dies once everything is cut out. And so you can see here the leaves. This is the stamped one. This is the outline. Then you've got two small leaves. Here's that ornamental stuff, all right? Small sunflower, large sunflower. This is the center of the sunflower, and this is the overlay that can go over that sunflower, okay? So, no, I have not tried coloring the ribbon with the blends, but you know, we have the in color blends now, Joanne. So that is an excellent idea. I have not used that ribbon yet, so it's probably why I didn't think about it. All right, so we are going to get started. I want to show you where this card came from. It's actually in the annual catalog. And on Monday, on my blog post, I call it Casing the Catalog. CASE means, it's an acronym, C-A-S-E, and it stands for Copy and Share Everything. And so on Mondays on my blog, I have Casing the Catalog. And here it is right here, page 175. It's highlighting the dies here. And look at this spread. We've got 4 cards right here. And I know I've told you all this many times. When I start with a new bundle and I'm not sure where I want to go with it or how to design with it, I'll copy something from the catalog. And that kind of gets the creative juices flowing. And then I can kind of go from there. And I might go on Pinterest and pin some different things that I like. So, but I wanted you to see where it's from. All righty. So we're going to start with, let's see, where should we start tonight? We'll go ahead and we'll start with the card base, okay? And we're gonna start with Bumblebee cardstock, all right? And yes, we do need a bumblebee to go with that sunflower. Oh boy, I have 2 card bases here. Hang on, only need 1. All right. Alrighty, and I did pre-score this, and now I'm going to take my bone folder and get a nice crease in that score line, okay? And I'll just kind of hang this one off to the side. Now I'm going to grab some water real quick. I guess I've been talking too much. Okay, here is our Bumblebee ink pad. It's brand new. I have not even used this one yet. So my case is super stiff. And let's see here. Hang on. I told you it was stiff. I'll just leave it open like that. When you get a new ink pad, you kind of have to open and close it a bit just to kind of break it in. All right. So we're going to start with the small sunflower. And this is going to be our background for the card base. You're right, Debbie, it needs a bee. And so far, ladies, I've gone through the annual catalog several times now. I have not seen a bee. So if you all can find me a bee in one of the stamp sets, I would be very happy. I would love to know where that is, all right? Because I have not found one. All right, so I'm going to create a backdrop here, okay? Just use this little sunflower as a background stamp. And I'm turning it so that I get different angles for the sunflower. And I need to scoot up here a little bit. All right, and here. I will go over here and put one. And by the way, I'm using Bumblebee ink on Bumblebee cardstock, okay? And I'm just kind of filling in some little areas that look a little empty. All right, so that's my background for my card base. Okay. And just a little reminder, this may be a tip that you do not know, and I didn't think about it until I labeled my ink pad today. The labels are on the very back of the ink pad, and you select your language. And so Bumblebee goes on the front. I selected English, of course, so that is at the front of the ink pad. But did you also know at the very bottom, it's just a solid label? And so with that solid label, you can put it right here. And then when you're stamping and you have several ink pads out, you'll know which color to stamp with, okay? So I don't know, maybe you didn't remember that. I just happened to think about that today when I labeled this ink pad. Okay, well, the next thing we're going to do is some more stamping, okay? And I'm going to put the card base over to the side, and we're going to get out some Seaside Spray card stock, okay? And did I? I did not put it on there. What you're going to see is I've already stamped and cut this out. I meant to bring some Seaside Spray cardstock over here. But look at this detail. I stamped this earlier today and cut it out. We're going to do the intricate piece together with the Big Shot so that you'll know how to do that with the adhesive sheets. But isn't this sunflower just beautiful? So let me show you the die, which I'm sure you remember. It's this one right here. This cuts out the outline of the flower. And you're going to notice on this die, and it'll take a while to figure it out, this petal and this petal is kind of pushing forward and going around clockwise. And on the stamped image, it does the same. And so what you have to do is you have to find that place. So I don't know if you can see it, but see how this petal and this petal kind of reaches forward and goes around. It's different than the other petals that are on the sunflower. So this just cuts out the outline, okay? Now the next one, this is the one we're going to be working with tonight. This is the intricate piece, and I am going to get out a piece of Misty Moonlight, okay? Now, what I did to prepare for this, to prepare for cutting this out, I measured my sunflower. And this sunflower is measuring about 3.5 inches east to west. Almost 3.5, not quite. And so I cut my cardstock at 3.5 by 3.5, okay? And you'll see why I'm doing that in a second here. All right. You wouldn't believe the amount of stuff that I have on this small table. Now this brings me to our next item that's new in the annual catalog, and it is our adhesive sheets. Our adhesive sheets are on the adhesive page with the stamp and seal, with the dimensionals, the glue dots, the liquid glue. All the adhesives are on the same page, okay? So in this package, there are 12 sheets, and they measure 12 inches by 6 inches, okay? So it makes them real easy to go through the Big Shot. And this is when you want to use the adhesive sheets, when you go through the Big Shot, okay? So let me show you one of them. And by the way, yesterday I did create a video that's on my blog, and it shows you how to do this, but I'm going to show you tonight. All right, so on this adhesive sheet, there are 3 panels. There is a panel here, all right, because see right here is where you peel, and it's sticky. And here's another panel in the middle and a panel on the end, okay? So that comes in handy because it makes it easier for us to lift off that paper, off the adhesive. So these are the 3 long panels. And what I like about these sheets are, there isn't a front or a back. It is sticky on both sides, okay? All right. So what we're going to do is, we are going to cut, and I'm just going to do it with I could do it with scissors, but you know what? I've got my little trimmer here. So I'm going to use my little trimmer. This is a leftover adhesive sheet, okay? And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut it at 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches, the very same size as the cardstock. All right. Now these adhesive sheets that are left over, I'm going to keep them because they're going to come in handy for smaller things. Okay. You never knew that about the extra label. What extra label, Suzanne? What are you talking about? All right. Okay, so here we go. Now I warned you, super sticky, okay? I am going to lift this up. This is now the sticky part, okay? And I'm just gonna lay it right here on this cardstock. It does not have to be perfect, okay? And by the way, you can cut a sheet of adhesive, of the adhesive sheets, and it can be one solid piece. It doesn't have to have this panel in the middle. Does that make sense? So you can use it either way. Here's my other sticky piece. And it does get on your fingers, and it will get on your paper snips, okay? So be aware of that. I have it on my fingers right now. This is the paper that is now trash, okay? So this is my adhesive sheet. It's not perfect. It doesn't really fit the square that good, but it's going to work, okay? So keep your fingers crossed for that. Now the very next thing we're going to do is, we're going to take the sunflower and we're gonna lay this on the card stock, okay? So you want your adhesive sheet face down. And then I am going to bring in the Big Shot, and my table's probably gonna shake. And I wanna show you my layers, okay? Yeah, everything is shaking. All right, so I'm using my magnetic platform, all right? And I'm going to use my precision base plate. And I'm using this because, as you can tell, I've got a lot of intricate little pieces, and I really want them to be cut out well. And if I use this plate, I can pretty much guarantee it's gonna come out, okay? Now I'm going to lay my square right there. Adhesive sheet is facing down. I'm going to add the sunflower right here, and I'm going to add one cutting pad. And I'm gonna make sure my cutting pad and my platform and everything is nice and even. And I might go kind of slow on this just because I hate it to shake so much. All right, that was a nice tight fit. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, before I move the Big Shot, I'm going to check. I want to be sure that everything was cut out. And it looks like it was, but I'm just going to turn it, and I'm going to do it one more time, even though I'm pretty positive everything is cut and ready to go here. Okay? All right. Okay, so now I can see it's definitely working. Now we're gonna put this to the side, and we're gonna go ahead and do the 2 leaves, okay? And let's see, I might have to move this for a second. And I'm gonna bring in the leaves now, and we're going to cut the outline of the leaves with old olive cardstock. And here's an adhesive sheet. I'm really not going to need a lot of adhesive for this. And this is the leaf that we're going to cut out, okay? I'll show you the card sample again. If you look at the leaf, it's got this old olive overlay over the leaves, okay? And that's what we're about to cut out. So as you can see, this is all I need, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this off. And just by doing that little bit of peeling off, it is sticking to my fingers, okay? So see how it doesn't have to be perfect, but it'll still work, okay? And so now what I'll do is, when I flip this over, now, let's just go ahead and trim this off so I don't cut the leaf on the wrong side, okay? Because if I cut it on the side without adhesive, it's not going to do me much good. So here we go. Adhesive sheet is facing downward, and then here is the leaf. So I will bring in this one more time. Gonna lay that there and roll this through. And I should only have to do this once and not really have to worry about it. And I do need 2 of these. So there's one of them, okay? And look, the little petals are already falling out, okay? Which is great. Let's do it again. There's my second leaf. So I recommend that if you're cutting a specific shape that needs adhesive, to measure, and that way you're not wasting your cardstock and you're not wasting the adhesive sheets. Because I think 12 adhesive sheets will last you a long time, depending on how many sunflower cards you're making or how many letters, cards with letters that you're making. All right, the one at the bottom, ink color name labels that can go on the inside of the ink pad so you know what color you're using. So Suzanne, you're asking me about the labels? Is that what you're asking me about on the ink pads? That's what it sounds like. All right. So I will show you that when we get done with this, okay? All right, I'll show you where that label is. Okay, so now that we've gotten this done, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna pop out the petals, okay? And I'm just gonna pop out these petals. They're just falling out. And let's get rid of this. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the sunflower first, okay? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna remove the outline. All right? And then I can go ahead and I can pop out the center. It has adhesive on the back, so I'm gonna hang on to it. And then another thing that I've noticed when it's time to clean out all these little pieces, you can do it like this, okay? Just like that. But let me show you what else happens. Let's see, let me release this sunflower first. Here we go. So I'm gonna release that. I've noticed that when you go to peel off the adhesive, okay, they fall out. Look at that. As I peel off the adhesive, all of those tiny little dots are coming off on the adhesive sheet. And so I didn't have to spend a lot of time poking out all those little pieces. Have any of you ever used adhesive sheets before? It's been quite a while since I've used them, so I had to do a little review. I'm gonna zoom in and we're gonna look at this sunflower and we're gonna try and match it up. Now remember, we've got those 2 petals that are kind of, you know, heading over the hill. And let's find the sunflower here. I think this is probably the 2 petals that are also moving in that direction. And so I'm going to see if it works, and it does. and it's like putting a puzzle together, okay? And it's done. So I didn't have any messy glue. How awesome is that? Isn't that the coolest? Okay, so now let's do the leaves. Now the leaves are pear pizzazz, okay? And I inked the leaves in Old Olive, all right? And so now we're going to take the outline of the leaf, and I want to get this started. Sometimes this is the hardest part. Sometimes I use my pick tool here to help me, but I might be able to do it with nails here. All right, let me get under that paper. Okay. And now I'm just going to set it. Just like that. And it's stuck together. How awesome is that? How easy is that? What do you think? I'm going to try and pick up that adhesive with this. And it might even be easier, you know, if I have this laying on the table. I don't know. Hang tight here. See if I can get this one off. Oh, there we go. Okay. And so now we're going to do the same here. And now both of our leaves are done. All right. So I hope you found that helpful, and I hope that you will try the adhesive sheets. They are awesome because we don't have the messy glue, okay? We don't have to deal with that. And look at that adhesive sheet. It peeled off all of these tiny little pieces so that we didn't have to poke them out, which is a time saver, all right? Okay. I'm going to go back to Suzanne's question because it's a really good one about our ink pads. At the top, Suzanne, the bumblebee was in English and it was on this label, and that's where I put this one, which I'm sure you already know that. But at the very bottom of the label, Suzanne, it is a solid color, okay? And I peeled the solid color off and I put it inside into this little well, all right? So that's what you're supposed to do with it. Another thing is, I used to tear this whole thing off and throw the rest away because I didn't need the other languages. But another good tip for you is, the little ink spots? Well, let's say you've got an uninked spot, you've got your bumblebee ink refill, and you, put the ink onto the ink spot, right? You can take one of these labels and wrap it around the bottom edge of the ink spot, and then you'll know it's bumblebee. Even if it's in a different language, you'll recognize the color, all right? So that's a little bit about our ink pads. Okay, well, let's get back to our card. We're pretty much ready to put it together. This card has vellum on it, and so let's measure the vellum for you. And the measurements will be on my blog this Friday. It's measuring 4 3/4 and 3 3/4. Okay, Suzanne, I'm laughing at your comment. I'm sorry. Explain which label is. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, now I'm going to use our stamp and seal. And I'm going to put the stamp and seal right in the very middle of the vellum so that the big sunflower is going to cover up that adhesive, okay? And our stamp and seal, remember, it doesn't make any noise like our old snail did. And so, I never think it's working because I don't hear it clicking. So, all right. So that's the vellum, and you can see that adhesive under there, right? It's here and here. Okay. Next, we're going to put on this ribbon. Now, ladies, this stuff is yummy, and it's called Bumblebee Gingham, and you can purchase it on the ribbon page, okay? Now, I'm going to take this. I need about, like 100 yards of this because I just love it. So if it goes on back order, it's because of me. Okay, so as you can tell from the sample, we've kind of doubled the ribbon. So we're going to do the same here. All right. And there are a couple of different ways to do that. I'm going to take one glue dot, and I'm not putting the glue dot in the center, okay? All right. I just kind of put the glue dot there, okay? Just kind of hold it together, all right? Just like that. And I'm actually going to use glue dots again for this because I can attach it to the vellum. Whoops, that glue dot's on me. Let's try this again here. All right, I'll put one there and one there. Once you touch those glue dots, then it's just kind of gone. Okay, I'm going to flip that over. And I'm going to go ahead and position my ribbon about there. I actually should bring it down because I want to be able to fit it in a card. All right, so let's see here. I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but I found this to work. There we go. Okay, and now I can trim it. Okay, I could even trim it a little more just to get it to fit in there. I'm going to add the sunflower now. I know the overlay is very pretty. Now, if you like this card and you'd like to make 5 of them, then do all your cutting at one time. Do your adhesive sheets at one time, and it makes your assembly go much faster. And, without having to use that liquid glue, oh man, it's so nice. I love it. So yeah, adhesive sheets are the way to go for these intricate things. They're great for letters too. We're going to go ahead and attach our sunflower about right here, okay? And now we'll go ahead and add our leaves. Now for the leaves, I'm just going to put a glue dot on the back of the leaf, and then I will just kind of tuck that under there and get that to stick. I'm doing the same with this one. Glue dot on the bottom. I'm going to move that. There we go. Make sure that gets stuck. And then we're going to add the cinnamon cider. What would you all call these? It looks like wheat, but it's not. I guess it's just some green leaves. I'm going to go ahead and add a glue dot to that stem. Okay. And then here is where I'm going to tuck it in. Right there. All right. I kind of like this one better. All right. Now we're going to add words. By the way, if I wasn't adding words at this point, I could pop this up right on top of the sunflower. Okay. It could be popped up. But we are going to add words across here. So we're not going to need the center of the sunflower. Yes, it's Pear Pizzazz cardstock, and the leaves are inked in Old Olive, okay? And yeah, the adhesive sheets are a must-have, all right? They're gonna come in very handy and help you out. Okay, Misty Moonlight is gonna be our color, and the width, let's go over the width of this little strip. This is 3/4, okay? And then the length is about 3 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to use our other new punch, which is right here. Let me open this up. And remember, we have 3 different widths on each of these punches because we've got 2 punches in one. We've got this end and we've got this end, okay? So 2 different ends. So for this one, I'm going to fit my cardstock in as far as it'll go. I'm going to punch, and that's going to be the end, okay? Now I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing. All right, so slide that all the way in. This particular punch you want to use on the table. You don't have to hold in your hands. All right, so that's what this one looks like. And here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. I am still getting used to this new apparatus. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to add it here. Okay, and that's going to be the card base. And then we're going to add some Just Jade, which is right here. And let me give you these measurements. The name of which punch? Is it this punch, Laura? I'm trying to remember. Look on the punch page. It's part of a bundle. It has a coordinating stamp set. So look in the punch page for that. Lovely You Bundle, I think is the name of the bundle. All right, so this is measuring 4 3/8 by 3 1/4 inches. All right. And this is from Stitched So Sweetly, and it is the largest die, okay? I used the largest one, all right? And we're going to tape this die cut to the Just Jade. And we're going to center it. All right. Right here. And then we're going to pop this up on the card base. Nancy, I'm so glad you like this card. Thank you. I think when I got my pre-order, I think this was the very first card I made. And anyway, I'm not even sure where the inspiration came from. I just thought about that Bible verse and I thought, I think it'll fit on that jar. Okay, so this gets popped up right in the center. And what's nice about this paper is I've got these dots to kind of help guide me, okay? All right, so let's talk about the PDF. I created this PDF and I have printed it on Bumblebee cardstock, okay? So I'll show you. You use your jar punch and you insert. Now see, when I insert this, I can't get the punch in any farther. So this is where I would take my paper trimmer and just trim off a little bit. But since I don't have my large paper trimmer over here, I'm looking for scissors. What did I do with the scissors? Oh, here they are. I'm just going to do this with my paper snips. Okay, and then I'm going to take that jar punch and insert it, and that should work just fine. Okay, and so again, you're doing that, you know, you'll punch out these 3, you'll trim it, and then you'll punch out these 3, and it works out so you end up, you're able to punch 12 of these. Now this file will be on my blog on Friday, right under the replay video, okay? This is the jar punch, if you're talking about this punch. Okay, so with this little guy, he just needs to get popped up, all right? But we're gonna add some ribbon, so let's do that real quick. This is our cinnamon cider, and if you purchased my share box, you're going to have some cinnamon cider ribbon in there, 2.5 yards. I'm going to take this, wrap it around the neck of the jar, And you might find it easier to do if the jar is already attached to the card. I think you can do it either way. Whoops. Okay. All right, and then we can trim that. Thank you, Mary Kay, for finding the name of the punch. Lovely You punch. The punch that we used in the first card is on page 169. And it is a bundle. And it's also on page 22. All right. So thank you so much. I love having you all as my secretaries. I need that. Boy, do I need it. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll add a dimensional up here. And then we can pop this up. All right. And we'll put it about right here. Gosh, I'm a little crooked on my punching tonight, but that's okay. It's handmade, not made in China, right? All right, so now we're going to do a little stamping. And we're actually going to do coloring with Stampin' Blends. So here's my Whisper White cardstock. And I need my little sunflower, which I do have. Okay. I need a bigger table. All right, let me clean this real quick because it has bumblebee ink on it. And I'm just cleaning this with my chamois. Okay, if you have a Stampin' Scrub, that also works well. And we're going to ink it in black memento ink because we're going to color. Okay. Thank you, Sonia. I'm so glad you like it. Okay. And so when we stamp this, look how beautiful that is. Just the detail in that stamp. I love it. I love the detail in the sunflowers. It's just awesome. Okay, and so this one gets cut out with this die, all right? And it fits just like this. Okay, so it's real easy. That's right, it's handmade in America, Jean, absolutely. Okay, all right, so I've already taken the time to cut this out, so you didn't have to watch me crank the Big Shot again. And so now we're going to do a little coloring. And I found that I really liked Mango Melody. I started with Daffodil Delight. That's a good color to use. But the Mango Melody kind of gave me an orangish tone to it. I really like that. I'm going to zoom the camera in so we can color. I might zoom it in a little bit more. There we go. And let's see. I'm actually going to start with the light. Okay, I'm probably going to go back and add some dark to it. But I'm going to start out and just color these petals in light Mango Melody. Okay. Make sure that you all can see that. And this is a good time if you need to ask me any questions about any of our products. Tomorrow on my blog, I will have different sunflower cards there. And you'll probably see them on Facebook too, okay? So you'll see them in both places. And I'm actually going to show you some samples when I'm done with this. Okay? I'm just doing this kind of fast, but I'm going to show you how I add in the darker blend. Okay. And hopefully everybody can see that. All right. I'm keeping you ladies a long time tonight. Okay, so now I'm going to go back with the mango. And this is the dark one, okay? And I'm going to get all those lines that are in the sunflower. Let me zoom in a little more. There we go. The lines in the sunflower. There we go. I'm going to highlight them with that Mango Melody, the dark one, okay? So now I'm getting the lines, and I could have done that first, I think one of the nicest things about the blends is you don't have to be a fantastic colorer, and you don't need a lot of training in order to use these. And everything, you know, still turns out great. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I know, aren't they pretty? I'm going to take some of those petals and I'm going to completely shade them in. I'm going to pick up some of these ends here, okay, and just kind of do those. All right. I'm going to color some of those outer petals with the dark mango. I really like the mango better than the daffodil. All right, so see how it's really starting to come to life now? Oh, I love it. I know everybody's getting the sunflowers, everybody. They're so awesome. All right, and so now, let's see, I brought a couple of markers over here. This is dark soft suede, which I think is what I use. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go in here and get these lines with the dark, okay? All right. And I could have also used Old Olive if I wanted the green. Okay. But if I remember correctly, now I made this card over a month ago, but if I remember correctly, I think I liked soft suede better than the crumb cake. All right, so now you see the leaves. I will hold it up so that you can see it a little better. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to do the center, and I'm just going to do that with the light. And you know, I could actually use the brush tip, and that'll kind of free up some coloring there just by using the brush. I don't use the brushes often because I feel like I don't have as much control with it, but I know some people who that's what they mainly use. All right, and now I'm going to go in and get this center here, okay? And do you notice in the sample that I've got some cinnamon cider enamel dots? And I couldn't find mine tonight. They're in my room, but I don't know where they are. I'm going to go back to light and kind of move some of that in there. Okay. And now I'm actually going to take the sunflower and I'm going to pop it up, okay? I bet you all already knew that I was going to do that, right? All right. So I'll just use 2 dimensionals there. And I'll put this about right here. And you know what? I don't know if Peggy is still watching. But Peggy, I'm going to bring out Stella, and we're just going to add a little wink of Stella to this beautiful sunflower. I hope you all like it. Carol says she loves it. I always like to add my wink of Stella after I have finished the card, because this can take a little bit to dry and I don't want it to smear. I'm doing this kind of fast. All right, so hopefully that Stella is showing up. I'm gonna give you a close-up of the card. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and zoom out. Okay,